It's Mawa Heavyweight Champion, Big Billy Gold. You're watching BJ and DG talk wrestling, and that's gold. That's Billboard Billy Gold, and this is gold. This is Billboard BJ and DG talks gold.
Welcome back, everybody. BJ here, DG over there.
What's going on, everybody? And as you can see, it's just two of us today.
Yeah, Chef couldn't be with us today. He's actually, unfortunately, right now at the hospital being treated for rabies that apparently he got from his new pet chinchilla. So we wish him all the best. Get well soon, Chef.
Or maybe not, it's a weird ref bump, but it happened. But yes, best of luck to all that. Also, just real quick before we get into other things, the world of pro wrestling did lose somebody this week. One half of the Midnight Express, Dennis Condrey. So,
Yeah.
and we also did lose Chuck Norris before that. Who now, rumor has it Chuck Norris is now God. So hopefully things improve from here on out with stuff, because nobody messes with Chuck Norris.
And let's not bring up any of, his negative opinions or anything. Let's just go with that. Moving on.
But and then, yeah, sending our best and well wishes and all that good stuff. Condolences to the families. Dennis Condrey, who was a huge part of pro wrestling back in the day, as part of the Midnight Express, helping build tag team wrestling to what it is today.
Right. And last night at Pro Wrestling Unplugged's Backcountry, there was a beautiful 10 bell salute coming in from intermission.
But yeah, I guess we should ring the bell and get this started. All right, so we all know, like there's 3 or 4 of us on tonight. You know where I'm starting all of that. Something I've been talking since at least October, right? And you guys consistently questioned me on the train of thought of all this, and we'll go through the whole thing. But in the end, Femi versus Brock Lesnar now at WrestleMania 42.
Now,
You know,
in my defense, I kind of agreed with everything you were saying to a certain extent, but as things played out, uh, what other opponent would have made sense?
and now on top of that, because by the way, you are welcome, Tara. I hope you enjoyed the show and everything yesterday, and you had some fun. Um, But we had when we first started originally, and I was bringing this up when Oba was still in NXT. Like, how do we get there? How do we build him up for it? And I think they did it the right way. He has a win over The Miz, 2-time Grand Slam winner, 2-time Money in the Bank winner. He has the accolades for the notch in the belt. He had the match with Rusev. Ryan Milky, how you doing, brother? And then the way that let's just fast forward to Raw, right? Seth Rollins opens the show with the Masked Men. Paul Heyman eventually comes out, which Heyman, every time that man takes a beating, it looks like he doesn't bathe or shave for like 2 weeks.
Well, they put quite the makeup job on him.
Oh, Heyman, the consummate professional when it comes to knowing exactly what something needs. I doubt there was any money given to him. Of all things, that moment was on the fly, and he told him to do it, which it made complete sense to do.
He said how money is.
But then he corrected himself.
Right,
But
right,
then,
right.
yeah,
How
not fully.
money
But
is less.
look, I have a universal translator here. I know what people are saying.
Okay.
But and Heyman comes out FAFO, FAFO, FAF5. Which, by the way, those masked men, those poor guys, man, especially the dude who went into the steps. There were some brutal, stiff hits during all that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that's what you get, with Lesnar.
Yeah, Lesnar gets in the ring. And it was a good way because one of the opponents for Brock Lesnar we speculated about was Seth Rollins because of the curb stomp and everything. And even before that, it kind of made sense if they went that route. I would be okay with it.
Biggest draws.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you have Oba Femi just interrupting that whole thing. Oba makes it to the ring. Brock turns around, looks at Seth. Seth just rolls out the ring like, nope, I don't want no part of this. And Brock Lesnar takes, the fall from grace? The sit down powerbomb Oba does. I believe that's what it's called, fall from grace.
Yeah, something like that.
And, dude, that was impactful. And at first, I thought the way it was done, I thought it was just going to be the pop-up powerbomb like KO does. And just well done. And what a call by Brock, which that's come out and everything, that Brock had told him to put his foot on his chest. It just made the moment that much better. And now, and later on the show, confirmed, Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I like it. Only because there's no better options. He wouldn't have been my first choice, but other people are involved in other things. Or Royce Keys, isn't, but whatever.
Which, at this point, hopefully we see him again the night after WrestleMania. I don't want to see him shoehorned into something that is going to feel forced.
Yeah,
like
I read,
Meechin and B-Fab joining Jade on SmackDown this week.
That. I love that.
So do I, but it to me,
I'm a Meechin and B-Fab Mark. I couldn't even think
it just
of their name.
made no sense with all the feuding they've been doing. That all of a sudden they would team up.
If you can't beat them, join them. We've seen it 100 times in wrestling.
Yeah, it just makes no sense to me.
We've seen it. We've seen it plenty of times.
It just felt like they showed up at SmackDown yesterday. It was like, y'all two are joining her. To where, okay, well, where in storyline does this make sense? Because she injured both of them, so now she just punked them. You're on my team now.
She made them her
Hold
bitches.
my pocket.
She made them her bitches.
But anyway, let's talk about something that's actually of substance at the moment. Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar, back to that, because I've only been talking about it since the fall, I got one of the two things I wanted for WrestleMania this year. Because it would have been Jacob Fatu getting the title shot, which I didn't get. But this was one thing that I want to say I was talking about it in spurts longer than October, but just where I kind of just stuck my ground with it has been since about then.
You give me a clean slate for WrestleMania, and Brock Lesnar is not facing Oba Femi. That's like the last person. But since everything else is already played out storyline-wise, and the timing of Oba coming up and everything fell into place, it makes the most sense. Honestly, I would love to see Brock. I mean, now that I'm putting myself on the spot, I can't think of any specific names, but I would love to see him face other people.
There are other matches between now and if SummerSlam is his final match.
Not LA Knight.
No. I would love to see him face Jacob Fatu.
Well, how about Gunther?
I think Gunther's SummerSlam personally.
Right, but how about now? It's looking like Gunther might not have a match on the Mania card.
Very interesting to see where, and it's because Ray is injured.
Right.
I would still want Gunther on the wrestling. He was world
Andre
champion.
The Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner.
No, God, no. Like, he would be the biggest name in there. It would make the most sense if he's in that match, but it shouldn't be him. He shouldn't
No,
even be in that match.
he should have his own match, definitely.
Um, Something that would make sense for him at the moment. If there's just people I'm looking at that you could just throw together day of, we could say, and you would be like, oh, they just made that match for whatever reason, or the week leading in, maybe somebody like Rusev.
That's what I'm saying. With a clean slate, sure.
No, I think that match could be shoot, especially if you had them both in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and they somehow eliminate each other, brawling, and it just continues into the back. Something that where you could shoehorn it in, and it would just make sense. We still have about 4 weeks till WrestleMania, roughly.
I know. Gunter teams with Jelly Roll against Kit Wilson and The Miz.
Sammy, I think, in the chat,
No reaction?
I'm sorry, my brain was focused reading on the chat.
I said Gunter teams with Jelly Roll against Kit Wilson and The Miz.
No, that would be Danhausen in that match. Let's be perfectly honest. But there are plenty of people missing. We still have a week to build this up. Because let's be honest, at least there's going to be at least between both nights 2 multi-man matches of some type of ladder match or something like that.
I'm hearing that there's going to be a 4-team women's multi-team match for the women's tag title.
There is one interesting match for WrestleMania, considering how I haven't watched AAA yet this week, but I kind of saw something about Vikingo was upset this week about losing to Dom and trying to figure out, all right, what do I do? And it was dropped that possibly Vikingo versus Penta at WrestleMania.
Oh, I like that.
I'm definitely with that. I think Sami Zayn and Trick Williams has a match. Maybe Aleister Black's involved in that somehow too. With the way things have been playing the last couple of weeks with all that.
Right.
But we're 4 weeks out. There's still plenty of time to build. It's just now they have to start building this week.
Yeah, it's like do or die time.
Yeah. I don't think, honestly, I'm going to be honest. I don't think Femi versus Brock Lesnar needs a lot of hype around it besides using Brock Lesnar's history of how he debuted. He made an impact, and now Oba's doing the same thing, and him accepting the open challenge instead of a confrontation outside the Rumble. And because that's the last time we had seen them in a ring together before Monday night was in the Royal Rumble.
Honestly, they don't need to do anything else. You know what I mean? They don't need to like hype that feud at all. It's already.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to, but the match is made. Everybody's already in.
Yeah, and if anything, what I would start doing this week is like, all right, there's a lot of similarities, and I've pointed it out several times. The similarities between them. I would start with Brock Lesnar debuting the night after WrestleMania. Him going on to win King of the Ring. Him going on to beat The Rock at SummerSlam in 2002. The feuds he had with the likes of The Undertaker, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, and this the build of how much of a monster he truly was. And then he left and went to UFC. And then he came back destroying John Cena in the beginning of Suplex City. Like you could really chronicle his history to portray the road that they want people to see Femi as. Because that's how I've seen him with the athleticism. And the fact that Femi coming from NXT, and unlike Brock Lesnar, the majority of fans didn't get to watch him in OVW. We didn't get to see him perfecting the craft. And Femi only being 3 years in the business, which I want to say was about the same time as Brock Lesnar in professional wrestling, not his amateur wrestling, because Brock Lesnar was also very accomplished collegiate wrestler.
Right.
I definitely think they can build it up with going over their history. I would just try to avoid as much in-ring confrontation as possible, maybe until the go home.
They could do just all vignettes from here on in, and it would be fine.
And you continue building Oba having matches.
Right. Yeah. Or
Um,
you don't even have to.
no. I would still put Oba in matches against people that would test him, so that once you get to WrestleMania, at
That
least
makes
one or
sense.
two,
Yeah.
at least one or two,
That
like
makes sense, but like not every week.
no, like one or two matches, because you also have to have the time. Maybe Brock Lesnar. Let's just say, for example, maybe you make a bold choice and you book so that people have in their head it could happen. Oba Femi Gunther, and Brock Lesnar comes out, destroys Oba Femi, turns around, F5's Gunther to start planting the seeds for a match between them at WrestleMania, so it gives you something to go back to. Like this is what, and Gunther could bring up, oh, remember when you F5'd me on the road to WrestleMania and you took away my WrestleMania match? If they don't have a match
Right.
planned for him, you injure Gunther.
There's
To where
also
he,
something I'm thinking of where they could still kind of use the LA Knight angle, but just kind of like write him off at the same time. Where have him
I,
come out and be like, "How do you deserve this match? I want this match." Blah blah blah, and they have Oba and LA Knight have a match.
you know what? That might be a yes to that question.
Well, yeah.
There's other people who have gotten that. Kevin Owens debuted on the main roster with the NXT title and then beat John Cena for the United States Championship at SummerSlam that year. And he held both titles simultaneously for a short time.
In a different world, it's Karrion Cross, but not in this universe.
Yeah. I'm the Shield.
McIntyre.
The Shield. They
I
were all
wasn't.
that was the Shield was a part of the original version of NXT. Seth Rollins was their first ever world
Yeah,
champion.
yeah. I hadn't started watching NXT by that
No,
point.
they weren't national at that point yet. Like
Right.
we were still. I want to say by the time they go national, Bo Dallas is the champion. Everybody believed.
Oh, I'm saying like I caught on to NXT in like 2016, 2017.
Black and gold.
Yeah, yeah, that era. I mean,
That
that
was the
was just
best era of
crazy.
NXT, if you ask me.
With
Um,
Undisputed and oh my God, there's so
I
much
would
going
go.
on.
I would
Andrade
even.
versus Drew. That
DIY splitting.
yeah. Oh my God, yeah. So many great moments from Black and Gold, but
It,
we could do a whole show on that.
yeah. We could just do. Well, that's not a bad idea. We'll talk. That's something to talk about off air. Um, I would even say the women's when they started the women's evolution because you had a lot. You had the Bailey call up. You had the
Yeah.
Charlotte call up. You had the Sasha call up.
Four Horsewomen.
Yeah.
And then even like Shayna and the other Four Horsewomen. Well, not quite, but Shayna and Jessamine and Marina.
Rhea.
Rhea. Io
Like she
Sky.
had. Like Rhea had a match with Charlotte Flair for the NXT Championship at WrestleMania.
Io and Kyrie. Sky Pirates were they?
Asuka.
Oh, of course. Asuka's
Asuka was
undefeated
still, yeah,
streak.
she was still undefeated. But with the momentum and we start looking at certain things, the next closest person, in all honesty, I say is KO.
I got one
With,
more. Cheerleader Alexa.
yeah.
Riverdance Becky.
The Wyatt family?
Hell yeah. Oh, and Big E. Or
No,
no, that
Big
was
E was a
Black and Gold.
sidekick. Big E was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
sidekick.
He wasn't really. He was
Now,
a sidekick up until like yeah, it took a while even in
Now,
the main roster.
I'm gonna throw in this addendum here to this because we have to remember there are two different versions of NXT. There is the NXT we have now that became the developmental brand, and then there was the reality show NXT. So I do have to bring up if we're going to talk about making an impact, the debut of Nexus. from the reality show, first season of the NXT show.
Yeah, I wasn't really watching it then.
Not with how it played out, but if we're just going to talk about the push that they got, they completely dominated
Yeah, true.
WWE. Wade Barrett should have won the WWE title from John Cena at that point, and it would have legitified.
Yeah. In response to that, where is it?
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah, that's what I keep saying about Dark State, but no, but when it comes down to it, the asterisk who should be number one on this list is the Nexus.
There it is.
That was an NWO style takeover.
Yeah.
That was something we had not seen since the 90s.
If it wasn't for Cena and his influence, I think that would have been absolutely amazing. Wrestling would be different now.
Yeah, Wade Barrett should have been world champion during that run.
Yeah. Like, a lot changed when that didn't go the way it should have.
And then you just look at all that. Like Wade Barrett, who was the protege for Chris Jericho. You had Justin Gabriel, Bryan Danielson, Michael Carver, Ryback. Good old Skip Sheffield at the time.
I'm like fighting myself to not put you in catering right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but he was a part.
I didn't even mention the name.
Darren Young was a part of that.
I have a little bit of that. He went on to go after WWE. He was in TNA for a while, and then he surfaced in NWA, where he might.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely he's absolutely killing it with what he's doing right now. It's just not
in the NWA.
Yes. He doesn't go by Sandown no more, but
No,
absolutely,
it's Aaron. No.
Yes, no, yeah. Hold on, I will look it up.
I'm blanking on this. It's his real name.
Aaron Stevens.
Aaron Stevens, yeah.
Oh no,
yeah,
they dropped the ball with him.
He wasn't great in TNA either.
No, but more that they dropped the ball with him after they put Money in the Bank on him.
Okay.
He was the first person to ever fail at cashing in Money in the Bank.
Right.
Fully. Because this is an asterisk there. When John Cena won Money in the Bank, he announced his cash in on the 1000th episode of Raw. He faced CM Punk for the WWE Championship, and he won the match by disqualification, but did not win the championship.
Right.
My favorite, and this right here, how much of a gimmick it was in a time in WWE where there was nothing really good going on. That was a highlight every week.
Even his debut gimmick of the whole, like, I'm smarter than you, and, like, his crowd work, and, like, all those, like, promos before he even had matches, like.
So let's step back real quick. Back to Oba and Brock real quick before we move on. And I guess I'll announce it now. We will be doing live watch-alongs for WrestleMania. And possibly the go-home shows as well for Raw and SmackDown that week. We did this last year with NXT and Stand and Deliver added to it. I think it's our record for most live streams in a single given week, including our normal Sunday show at the time. And we have a Tuesday show now that we didn't have a year ago.
Not to mention that we're going to be doing a little something for Midnight Express.
Which we'll have more on coming up in the next couple weeks. So stay tuned for our indie wrestling show.
It's going to be a busy week.
But yeah, so where you stand right now with Oba and Brock. All right. And I'm going to also put out there that the rumor has it Brock Lesnar doesn't want to lose to anybody. But I think, no, I disagree.
We went over it last week.
Yeah, but I'll go back. I don't think a WrestleMania loss hurts him if you're going to put other big opponents in front of him to get to Gunther at SummerSlam. So especially if it's Oba, because you're looking at somebody of equal, like they should be equals in the ring, as
I don't
size
see
and
it that
strength
way.
wise.
Well, size
But
and strength, yeah, but experience.
no. That's the tipping point. We've kind of talked about that on the indie show when we talked about Blackout and Gold Rush or Gold Blooded. Malik and Nigel, where I sided on the other end because of experience with Blackout compared to how new they still are. But anyway, where you stand right now, who wins? Who's your pick as of right
Oh,
now? Brock
listen,
or Oba?
listen, hold up. I haven't seen enough from Oba to see that he can defeat Brock.
You know, to where I agree with you, I think his match with Rusev showed a lot of that, him being tested. I can go back as far as well as to say he had matches. I believe he had a match with Trick, where Trick pushed him to the limit. I think now with him being on the main roster, it's also like a reset button. We remember that stuff, because that helped build him to the point he's at now. But when it comes to looking at what needs to happen, I think to really make that impact, unless it's a dirty finish, the only way Oba should not lose clean. So,
Oba should lose clean, but he will look amazing in the match. And even though he lost, it will elevate him. If they have another match, they'll tie. But like Oba doesn't.
I'm okay with a no contest in this
I think
situation
a
and no
win
winner.
for Oba right now in this case would do too much too fast for him.
So again, I'll go back to when Brock debuted and the rampage he went on, and then winning the King of the Ring against RVD, and then going on to beat The Rock. I just look at that middle ground and I look at Oba, and what I play and what I switch it out with is the NXT run. North American champion, NXT champion. He only lost to a couple people there. Um I wouldn't exactly say interference, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I don't think there's going to be any
I
interference.
don't care. I don't think there's anybody that. When do you ever see somebody interfere for Brock Lesnar?
Right?
Like that's the thing. If anything, somebody's coming in and going after Brock more than going after Oba at that point. Because it could be the idea that nobody wants Brock there no more because he only shows up for the big shows, the part-timer argument at that point, and you could make that story because it's been made storyline with Roman, so why not do the same with Brock?
I mean, I'm still like mentally booking that Gunther retires him at SummerSlam.
I mean, yeah, so am I, and I don't think an Oba loss hurts that at all because we're still 6 months out or 5 months out from SummerSlam.
You mean a loss to Oba?
Yeah, the loss to Oba doesn't. I don't think, unless Brock goes on a losing streak, and now we're
Never gonna happen.
talking. This is the WWE we're talking about. Let's
You know
just
what we
look at.
need to see though? We need to see Oba versus Gunther at some point to a no contest, of course. There'll be foul play involved, but we need to see that.
So, fantasy booking hypothetical. After WrestleMania, Gunther goes to SmackDown. Oba stays on Raw. King of the Ring. The finals. Gunther versus Oba.
Beautiful.
So that
Yeah.
there has to be a winner.
Yeah. I like
Brock
it.
Lesnar comes out, costs Gunther the match. That sets up SummerSlam.
Archives and Squatch are killing it in the chat though.
Oh yeah, they really are. We we love you guys in the chat.
Yeah, man,
Fantasy
you
booking
guys,
right along with us.
so much more to talk about there.
But yeah, it's not like we're talking about Brock Lesnar dropping a match at WrestleMania to Javon Evans.
Booking.
we're We're talking about it's another monster putting down a monster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another match, a one-off, because I know at one point, even though he's not there no more, he said after leaving he'd be willing to come back for the right thing. What if a bounce back match for Brock is somebody like Braun Strowman in a one-off? Oh, I hear this is your last year. I want to be the one to retire you right now and not let you get to your goal and leave the way you want. They have history. Brock Lesnar defeats Braun Strowman in a comeback, or a Oba Femi versus Braun Strowman match.
I'm super uninterested in Strowman coming
I
back
mean,
in any capacity.
I'm looking
He's
at the
lost so
big.
much weight.
It's the big guy. It's looking at the big guy situation.
He's lost so much weight, and from what I hear, he's not even really healthy anyway.
He big guys in their knees, man. Seeing the guys like Brock Lesnar's and the Oba Femis and some of those other guys like that are able to maintain the entire time and not destroy themselves. I mean, yeah, there you go. That would be, I could see that as a feud after WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
Oba and Powerhouse. Because now you legitify Oba and you now have somebody for Powerhouse Hobbs to actually work with.
Yeah, any combination of these four between Lesnar, Gunther, Oba, and
Yo, man,
Powerhouse,
you enjoy those street tacos.
bring some down to South Jersey, dog.
Yeah. Or we need. There's a new soundbite we need to add. But if you don't bring us, or at least fucking, well,
I don't even know if that's PG.
that's not what's going to be played. But if you don't bring BJ Street Tacos from New York City, you know what?
You just made the list.
But you know the soundbite we need now, right? You are cursed. We gotta have that. Yeah, come on, guys. Like the stream, man.
We try not to be too pushy. We let them do what they want, but they know what happens if
Look,
they
look.
don't.
If it's anything we want, we need y'all to like this video. Even comment after it airs. Subscribe. Go follow all our social medias: Facebook, Twitch, Instagram.
Yeah.
Show us some love. Share this out on your Facebook pages, Instagram, X's, your TikToks, whatever else. All right.
Start new accounts on platforms you don't even know what's going on them. Just
Get a megaphone. Go stand outside your house and just scream, "Follow BJ and DG Talk Wrestling." All right.
give us rides to work on random Wednesdays.
East Coast LQ reviews. What's up, guys? Hit that
Hey,
thumbs up.
what's up, East Coast?
Oh, thank you. We appreciate it.
Very nice. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. I saw that pop up. I didn't get a chance to check it out, but no, much appreciated. Oh, man. We got it, man. Let me know when you're coming down again. If you're coming down again at any point, man, it'd be great to see you. He's up in Rhode Island.
Awesome. It's something that involves a chinchilla, rabies, some shots. You know, it was a very confusing message with a lot of rambling on.
But our thoughts are all with stuff.
But yeah, I'm very interested to see how WrestleMania goes. If it's me personally and it was me booking the show, Oba goes over. I want my next monster, whoever. Because here's how I'm looking at it, and I've said
By the
this.
way, East Coast,
Oba
I don't know if
Femi
you
is
know
the
what
next
this
Brock
is.
Lesnar.
East Coast, got me a little bit of Trillium. That's all. He lives up there. He knows all about it. We don't get it down here often, so that's like yeah. Go ahead.
And other things, one thing we will be talking about is AEW Revolution from last weekend, because that show started as we were. Their pre-show was going while we were on the air because we had a late start last
Yeah.
week.
I tried to hang in there.
Which for everybody that tuned in for that, thank you.
Yeah. Uh, that was such a long show, and it wasn't even as long as their usual, but I tried to hang in there. I didn't make it through the six-man tag. And the six-man tag was only like 11 minutes long.
Yeah, that main event was fire, but we'll be talking more about that later.
I only saw clips. I didn't get to watch the whole thing.
But moving on now. Something that's been happening a lot on the road to WrestleMania this year. Idol changes. I feel like they're happening more now than they have in the last 5 years, maybe longer, 10 years, easy.
And maybe it's just me, but it kind of feels like they're panicking and just scrambling to get into position more so than, oh, this is what we were going to do all along.
I think it's also the idea that the takeaway that anything can happen, predictable feeling. As long as we're not seeing it every year on the road to WrestleMania, then it just becomes routine, right? Like, okay,
Like
we're going
one
to see at least half the titles change hands on this road to WrestleMania. Well, this year's WrestleMania is rumored each card to be 7 matches, 14 matches. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
6 to 7 with doing the Hall of Fame honoring and everything, and whatever segment they might decide to do with longer entrances is
Yeah,
fine
the
with
Bad
me.
Bunny concert, you know.
Because when it comes down to it, don't get it wrong. I'm okay with a 14 match card for WrestleMania,
Oh,
but
for
then
me.
each match only gets 10 minutes, maybe. Um, But a lot of title changes, and I kind of have NXT wrapped up in this at the moment. But we know Stand and Deliver is in the beginning of April, beginning of the month, and it's going to be on YouTube. That's not going to be a part of WrestleMania weekend now.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, no. Just.
I was trying to read the chat and I missed what he said.
Oh, no, talking about matches on the cards like Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, naturally only being 4-match cards because the Elimination Chamber and the Rumbles take up so much time because
Right.
they have timed intervals built into the match. So
Well,
you're guaranteed at least a certain amount of time.
just make them all 2 nights. That way we can have a full card on each night.
I'm against Royal Rumble being 2 nights.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah,
But
I completely agree.
if there was any other show I would do it, it would be the Rumble. And I would leave War Games as one night and Elimination Chamber as one night because, it doesn't, those, you don't need to stretch. The only way I would go across the board 2 nights for what would be the 4-card matches is if you do a legit brand split again and you split the PLEs into branded PLEs again, like in the early 2000s when they did it.
Oh no, that was horrible.
No, I have the reason
No.
why.
Okay, in the early 2000s it was fine. But when they tried to do it in like 2016,
And then
2015,
and then the cards became combined.
and then it was
And,
just combined anyway, that was hard.
yeah, no, I'm talking about the mid 2000s when we had like 6 to 8 weeks of build on each show with title matches happening on TV and all that.
That was when they were doing it right.
Yes.
And then when
Yeah.
ECW came into the mix,
Yeah,
that was even fine for a little bit until it all got too much.
The only shows where there should be crossover where it's not necessarily branded would be the Royal Rumble because you can keep that 2 nights as men and women. War Game, the Survivor Series could stay a 1-night event where the War Games matches, it becomes like you make it kind of like bragging rights, but instead of having story matches, you have traditional Survivor Series matches as well as the other 2 matches on the card. So that you honor the legacy of the name Survivor Series, but we also still get the War Games.
And I can't
for the
say
men
this
and the
enough.
women.
I can't say this enough. I loved it when they did the triple threat where NXT cleaned up. That was an amazing concept, and I really like that. And I also like just the head-to-head, like we put our champions versus yours, and that's most of the
Um,
matches. Out of
so
story champion versus champion matches.
So
Eh,
there's another route. No, yes, I agree. I would love for NXT to get that elevation again, but this roster, how good it is, and it has been, is
Like
not the black and gold roster, and that's the problem. If
like when they
black
put
and
the
gold was worthy of those
oh yeah, oh
moments,
definitely. Like when they put the belt on AJ because Brock didn't want to take on Jinder.
I wouldn't want it to neither. Uh but yeah, and then you could split the typical pay-per-views, and then you have special ones. So maybe Night of Champions, instead of it being all title matches, it's a night where all the champions across the three brands are in like triple threat matches or something, like the
That
NXT
makes a lot of
champion,
sense. Yeah,
the world champion, and the WWE champion are in one match. The
that
tag
makes a
team
lot of sense.
champions are all in one match because now all three brands are represented. And like the speed champions, you can figure out something. Maybe they actually defend the titles on the shows as special breather matches at certain points of the show, or you just don't feature them, which I think would be a mistake. But that's me because it makes those championships just seem less important. The women's and then the women's tag team championships could be defended since there's only one. Or, oh,
In a multi-woman, multi-team match.
let's expand it a step further. This Night of Champions concept. Let's include TNA.
There you go. Yeah,
Because
that
now
makes
you
a
have
lot.
the Knockouts tag team champions you could bring into it. Maybe you put the TNA champion in the top champions match as well, depending who's champion at that given time. The X Division champion could be plugged into either mid card. I think that would absolutely make sense. As BJ has just disappeared. Who knows where he went? But yeah, plenty of other stuff to talk about. So we were going on title
Okay.
changes, and yeah, Wren Sinclair winning the Speed Championship for the women. That was a fun match. I was surprised last week when she beat Thea Hale by submission.
Did not catch NXT this week.
NXT was a really good show. This was a good show this week. I liked the ending as well to the cage match with Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley.
We were on air way too late Tuesday, and then life took over, and I didn't get a chance to watch it all week.
I mean, you're talking to the person who literally just finished Dynamite before us, but right before going live. Yeah, NXT was a really good show. They kicked off with the women's triple threat match. JC Jane retains. Yeah, I like what they're doing with the birthright, which is a lot of the second generation stars and stuff.
Yeah. Charlotte Dempsey and Lexis Kane, Stacks, who's not a second generation star.
I love the Booker T appreciation night angle with Keanu Carver just coming out and interrupting it.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a really good show. Just real quick. Oh, something else to talk about from Raw.
Thank you,
um,
Arcot.
yes, thank you. Tuesday show is always fun.
I had such a good time Tuesday, as I do every Tuesday, and this Tuesday is going to be no different, everybody. You don't even know.
Yeah, not yet anyway. Pay attention to socials for announcements of that. I thought the Penta and Dragon Lee match this week for the Intercontinental Championship was really good.
Either of them, anytime they're in a match, it's a contender for match of the night. But yeah, oh my God, that was great.
It looks like AJ Lee retained against Bailey, and then Becky Lynch comes out attacking her during the commercial break here in America. So we missed half of that. And it looks like we're definitely still going to get AJ and Becky in some type of match at Mania. We get Heyman talking and Logan Paul and Austin Theory in the chasing for the tag titles because division needs gold right now, or else they have no power. Good call by Heyman.
Yeah, no, it makes
Something else we'll kind of talk about the Randy Orton interview. I number one, the via satellite thing when they use it properly was good, and I just love how he went to the camera. One moment. So the speculation being, who was Randy Orton talking to? Because he was on the cell phone again this week on SmackDown.
I have a theory. We'll get to that though. Archives in the chat. I did one earlier this afternoon at around 1 o'clock. You can go ahead to YouTube BJ Drinks Beer, and all of my beer streams are right there, neatly organized, under the live tab. Um, yeah, DG only made a brief appearance. But yeah, I didn't schedule it until noon, so there wasn't a lot of notice that it was going to be happening, but usually I schedule them a little bit earlier. So keep an eye out for them and go ahead and follow BJ Drinks Beer. You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
I don't get the connection.
Of course you wouldn't. I
Yeah,
actually I saw the T-shirt cannon on Instagram and absolutely loved it. It looked like a rail gun of just T-shirt cannons for the fire. Absolutely great.
yeah. You guys are spoiled. You guys being the rest of the world. But you're in our turf now. Hope you have a VPN.
Yeah. The other thing from Raw, let's talk about real quick. Roman Reigns and CM Punk thing and their little face off this week. You know what? How much now that I'm looking at the grand scheme of what we're getting for WrestleMania, I could make a case for the World Heavyweight title to be the night one main event. Randy Cody night two with his heel turn and everything. Now it definitely feels like it almost feels like how we were just talking about the original brand split, that these two feuds are almost feuding with each other to make sure they both have spotlight.
Yeah, but I mean, guaranteed each of them, whether it's night one or night two, both of these matches are going to main event.
But now like to where we would have been like if it was a multi-man match for the WWE title, that would be the night one main event as compared with Roman and Punk at that point would have more of just the blood feud or whatever with it, and the game really built up would be the night two one. And now I'm kind of like, wow, which one's the main event? If you know, I'm a real a-hole at times because I'm like I would just do them both on night two, one behind the other.
That's not how they do things.
No, but hear me out and give one of the women's matches the night one main event. Ryan Milky in the chat. The main event on Monday flopped. They should have touched it.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
I'll agree to disagree though, because it wasn't like they got into a brawl. See, it proved the point of something CM Punk said. I'm in your head. You're not in mine. As soon as Roman made the comment of him being old, he got in CM Punk's head. CM Punk lost his temper, swung, and then they got pulled apart. And Roman laid on the ground laughing. He did not get back up to retaliate because he did it. Punk did exactly what he wanted him to do to prove that Roman's also in his head. That's kind of how I interpreted it, even live and then after letting it sink in a little bit. When it comes to mainstream on TV, it's the only reason I even have cable, to be perfectly
I
honest.
Yeah, I don't have cable, but I have an app that I've been gifted with the login for that I can stream AEW and all that fun stuff. Raw, obviously, Netflix, um, but everything else, YouTube or in person.
Yeah, I mean, I also watch stuff on Triller for a lot of the indie stuff. There's
Thriller.
also like indie wrestling. There's indiewrestlingtv.com, iwtv.com, which you can subscribe to as well. I just subscribe to Triller instead. And that's for kind of personal reasons as well, because most of the guys that I see have a lot of their bigger matches are on that.
Yeah, a lot of people we know in the business. What do you mean
Sorry,
by that,
Ryan, didn't
archive?
mean to.
I don't understand what archives means by that.
I, but getting back to what Milky said, it was a way, as since they didn't really brawl, it wasn't a fight. It was the mental game that got played. And CM Punk out there the whole time saying he's cool, he's calm, he's collective, he's in Roman's head. But as soon as he got called old, he allowed Roman into his head, and that was the message being portrayed there. Not the fact, because now there shouldn't be no more physical interactions between them for another couple weeks until we get closer to WrestleMania. That's what he meant. And BJ still looks confused. Welcome to BJ is Confused and DG Talks Wrestling.
I'm sorry, I can't make heads or tails of that right now.
Well, that makes sense because it's not a coin.
Well, back to the drawing board. That
But
was
no,
my theory.
but I can, like I said, Ryan, I agree to disagree. I see where you're coming from, but I just got the. I guess it was just the message I got was, oh look, you think you're in my head? All I had to do was call you old. You sat here and talked stuff about my dead family members, and I haven't laid a hand on you.
Yeah,
My
like
cousins did. My cousins did. I didn't, and they did that on their own.
it's a weak comment to like be triggered by.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
just
what's up?
Captain Heel, how you doing, brother? Hope all is good with you.
Like I don't know. I would have expected something that
No,
hurt
no,
me.
no, but it was a good way to sit there and do it, so that it became an instant pull apart instead of us closing the show with them brawling. Because Roman even continued talking into the camera, and he says it. Oh, you're in my head. All I had to do was call you old.
Right.
And I got in your head. You lost your cool. You hit me, and I was laying on the ground smiling because I did what I wanted to. I proved my point. You're not who you say you are. Like, not what, like, because you can still say this is the bloodline version of Roman. This is the tribal chief Roman still. He still has never really apologized for anything. Roman is still showing who he is. We just live in an age of wrestling, like on SmackDown this week. Randy comes out and cuts a promo, and the fans are cheering him the entire time in what he's saying. I don't know. I don't work for the WWE. I'm still looking for 30 minutes of freaking collision.
Wait, I thought you were in production.
Anyway, welcome to DG Talks Wrestling. I am your host, Danger Ginger. I'm sorry, BJ had to go off to catering. Somehow he got roped into going out to get more food because there wasn't enough food. But here we are. Oh, look, he decided to come back.
Oh, hold on, finishing up with this lasagna. I got to it first this week.
Nice. Hey, our AJ.
Hey, what's up, Eddie? Good to hear from you.
But yeah, either way, I really enjoyed the segment. I like the message that was set out that neither guy at the moment has a real upper hand on each other. They both think they're in the exact same position. But if anything, after this week, I would give the upper hand to Roman at the moment.
Well, Punk won the last 2 weeks, in my opinion,
But
with the Usos and then with Roman.
but the game changed once.
Right. So Reigns got this win and kind of turned the tide.
Yeah, he kind of brought it back in his favor. Oh,
Yeah.
not his favor, at least even the score.
Mm-hmm.
You
Now they're
know,
on the same level.
and if
They're
I
both in
look
each
at
other's head.
anything, I still buy into the idea that Usos acted on their own.
Yeah.
I'll
definitely.
buy.
Yeah.
I will buy into that at the moment. But do I still? But from the way things are also looking, it looks like not that it's going to happen right away. That they are teasing something that could be bloodline adjacent for them. That's
Yeah.
exactly That's exactly what it is right there. Roman didn't bring up. Oh, he should have. No, that's not in good taste. That's not
Oh,
in good
come on.
taste.
Oh, come on.
I didn't
Oh,
think that what
man.
Puck said about Roman's family was in good taste.
There are so
I
many
thought that
times
was kind of.
there. Look, Eddie's in hell. All right. That's all I'm going to say. There's so many times that they've gone that route, and it was fine.
Oh no, it never makes the. There are plenty of segments I can go back and say that were in completely poor taste.
Well,
Let's
I
talk.
picked a classic.
You really
Randy
want?
Orton.
No, you want to pick something in poor taste. Triple H funeral home.
No, 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 no. I'm talking in ring, like face to face with somebody.
Oh, okay. Trish Stratus barking like a dog.
Yeah, that's different. That's some
No,
hype stuff. I don't want to get
again,
into
we're on the no.
that.
We're on the subject of
Yeah,
poor taste.
again, you're not. No, no, no. Poor taste, but like for one person to verbalize to another in a promo segment. Barks, not quite.
He had her on her hands and knees.
What I was more looking for was something insulting to say that's in poor taste and not like a whole act.
We will have to scour YouTube's. There has to be a video just on those moments.
The whole Randy Orton with Rey Mysterio and Eddie's dead. Or not Ray, who was it? Oh my God, I'm misremembering that. Right? All right, Eddie. He's on fire now.
Like I said, I like how the segment went. I thought it translated exactly what it needed to, and that's the mental game at the moment. That's all. I don't think that anything else had to be. Because if it takes the same being old for Roman to get in his head, what else has already gotten in Punk's head, and he was just trying to portray something that he's not at the moment. Just looking at it from that perspective. Oh man. We'll save that for Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, he got manhandled last night, but let's not talk. Or was that last night?
The
That's 2
Friday
nights
night.
ago. Yeah, let's not talk about that tonight.
Well, we'll be
That's
talking about that on Tuesday.
wrong show, pal.
But yeah, and then SmackDown this week. R-Truth and Damien Priest defeat the MFT after Uncle Howdy gets involved, taking out Solo, who was ringside for the match, and we have new tag team champions.
Yeah.
Well, we talked before the show about this, and I understood where you came from, and I kind of agreed with you, but how they did it, I thought was perfect because it was from a distraction of something else happening and not necessarily like it was a clean win, but
Well, it
it,
was a distraction win. And also, what we discussed is them getting the belts out of that feud.
yes, which works really well now because now we
Yeah.
don't have the titles involved with it.
We can have a blow off and it doesn't have to involve, yeah. It works out better. And I see that.
We kind of did a little bit of
I didn't bring up,
speculations.
I have a theory. I didn't bring it
Oh
up
yeah,
yet.
yeah. Go ahead.
I hear voices in my head. They talk. Hey, he's not talking to anyone. This is the voices. It's the voices in his head.
And I absolutely love that. It's too smart for WWE to do. I have a couple theories. I think one of them could be his dad, Cowboy Bob Orton. He did manage him in the past. Excuse me. And if this is something close to the return of the Legend Killer, or when he became the Viper, he was just punt kicking everybody's head off. I'm absolutely with it. I think Cowboy Bob Orton would be a good choice, and another excellent choice, and a role for him to have an appearance is Kevin Owens.
Captain Hill in the chat.
If it's The Rock, he better stay involved with the storyline, and it better lead to Cody versus The Rock at some point.
Eddie.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
thought he bought AEW and he's just waiting to debut. Hasn't that been the ongoing rumor for like 4 years now?
Yeah, you saw that one photograph that Sasha Banks claims to have taken. Captain Hill, no, you're closer. Yeah, you're closer with that one.
I really don't think it's The Rock. There's no reason for The Rock to be involved in this story. That's even worse.
Yeah, no, The Rock doesn't belong
What I
here
would like if
ever again, honestly.
actually, because so there is something specifically said at the end of that first thing to where Flair did pop in my head, and that's where that Monday night interview ends with there's more than one royal family, which kind of does make you think of, could we be seeing something to where, like, wow, imagine if it was something like a Ric Flair, a Ted DiBiase Sr., Cowboy Bob Orton all come out and help and somehow
I
have
got it.
something to do.
I got it. It's never going to happen because he's under contract, but Dustin.
If they could work out a one night deal, oh my god! But he has to come out and cost Cody the title.
Well, of course, of course.
And I still say that Randy Orton has to punt kick Cody's head off, and Cody takes time off.
More likely that it's nobody he's talking to on the phone.
Yeah, yeah. If this was any other company in the world,
But you give me that setup, and of course, I'm going to think, oh my God, if it's Dustin.
no,
But we all know Dustin is locked up.
there is a lot that could play into that, especially if you given the legends that could come out as part of this. and what they've done and their interactions with his dad through their entire career. Like, it would be very interesting to see them come out like, Cody, you're not it.
Captain Heel.
Honestly, I think that's kind of what they intended, because I swear Randy Orton was in a barn. So he might have just had crappy Wi-Fi connection from the house.
Squatch, maybe you misunderstood and you were thinking BJ and DG Talk Wrestling episode number 67? I don't know.
It's where I hope I'm surprised, but if I'm going to lean into anything, I maybe hope it's a combination that his dad comes back to manage him for the match, and it's also we get maybe a Kevin Owens returns at some point, and KO screws Cody out of the title.
Either way, whoever it is screwing Cody out of the title. And then Cody's going to go away for a while and come back as Dark Cody.
Codelander.
If I'm writing it.
The legend, there were a lot of people around that time when he got that name that he took out, but I'm thinking more along the lines of right after they got out of that and his dad, Cowboy Bob Orton, was with him, managing him. That was some really good stuff, and I think they could work it now for a WrestleMania feud.
Man, it was only for a night, but I miss Night Vision Orton.
Also, like, thinking about if it were to be Kevin Owens, that would be very interesting, because those two have a history as being a tag team for a short time together. They're looking at Cody the same way like Sami Zayn started looking at. We're really starting to see a shift in narrative of how certain people are looking at Cody now.
Could it be Matt Riddle? No.
Bob,
Go ahead.
how? I don't know. Let me. Cowboy Bob Orton is 75 years old. So, I mean, if Ric Flair could come back.
Yeah, I think Orton's in a little bit of worse shape from what I remember hearing.
But no, I think I would honestly lean toward Kevin Owens being the person on the phone, because I feel like it would make a lot of sense, because they could relate on that voices type level. And considering what the feud that would have been a year ago if KO didn't get injured, and now Randy's on that side of the line, and KO's just like, see, I told you about Cody. Cody wasn't supposed to ever have that title shot. Somehow he got that title shot.
Thank you, Squatch.
I definitely don't think it's Matt Riddle.
Oh, no. He's burned his bridges. That doofus.
Yeah, completely.
Although he still has a
He's stupid.
successful career going on right now. In what, MLW?
Correct. For that, you get this.
Oh, I thought you were going to send me to catering again.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Bye-bye, bitch.
Yeah.
It had to happen because you said it.
Wow, we are tearing through this today.
I know.
We're through the bullet points already. We're only an
Yeah,
hour.
but we'll peel the curtain back a little bit. Something we talk about. We want to have more freestyle conversation than just necessarily running everything down.
Whatever happened to us having intermissions?
I don't know.
Remember
Yeah, that used to be a thing
that?
in a
Back in
galaxy
like,
far, far away.
yeah, like back in like the first like 20 episodes.
I I just hope that this WrestleMania match, I really think it's a good time for Cody to take some time off. Or if not, you do it in a rematch where he's already injured still from WrestleMania at Backlash.
That makes sense.
You know, and Randy can put the nail in that coffin.
Right.
I do question, though, if WWE would have the balls big enough to do it. But then again, you have Danhausen to sell merch, so...
Yeah. Yeah, who needs the superhero when you have the creepy guy? The silly creepy guy, you know?
But yeah, other things from SmackDown this week. I just brought up Danhausen. The Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano thing. Danhausen, I think the Murray Machine Guns were in that segment too, or one of them. Danhausen also appeared during that segment, and then we get the match with the Mercy Machine Guns versus Fraxium, and Candice LeRae getting involved in that. How would you feel about a Johnny Gargano and Motor City Machine Guns group?
I wouldn't hate it. I think Johnny would work best as like a solo with like his ceiling maybe being the U.S. champion.
Uh,
But
um, yes, yeah. Can Danhausen wrestle? Yes, Danhausen is actually a very good wrestler. If you go look him up and watch some of his indie stuff. Bring Hurricane. You know what, Eddie? I am glad that I'm bringing you around slowly on this whole Danhausen thing. You are seeing the light, sir, of the entertainment value that can be made with this. All right. If you want pure wrestling, that's what AEW's for.
I
WWE is entertainment.
I disagree with pairing Danhausen with another comedic person. He should be comedic on his own. Everybody wants to ship him with like R-Truth and all these other like comedic wrestlers. Danhausen doesn't need anyone else to be funny. Like keep him on his own doing his thing. He doesn't need to
But
cross paths.
he plays best though when he has somebody to play off of.
Yeah, when he has the straight man to go off of. You know what I mean? When he has the serious wrestler to go off of. Um, and I'm not like ruling out like encounters with other comedic wrestlers, but I think like all these people are trying to say, oh, comedic tag team. No, not for it.
Like one of the things like I do want to see is a
I don't
Danhausen,
want
Mr.
to see
Iguana type thing.
Danhausen. I don't want to see Danhausen in any tag team. I want to see him just pretty much doing what he's doing.
Yeah, no. What he's doing right now, they're using him. Oh, I got the hiccups out of nowhere. That would. You can get that pairing with somebody willing to do it. That could be gold.
That's what I just said was in response to. Like, we don't need him in a tag team. He does fine on his own. Like, you're kind of condensing, like, comedic elements. Okay, there aren't a lot of comedic wrestlers, so let's sprinkle them, like, evenly on all the shows, not throw them together on one show, you know?
You know, one of the things I've been enjoying is his interactions with the Miz. Those have been gold right now on
Well, Miz
SmackDown.
kind of goes both ways because he's very serious, but he's a comedic wrestler. Oh my God. Where'd he come up with this stuff, Eddie?
Oh my God, Boombox Brock with Danhausen.
I can guarantee you, Brock will be like, no, I'm not working with that guy. He's a joke.
He'd be like, as long as I can destroy him after the joke.
No, that's only truth.
And you bring me
Yeah.
back to the bong hits line from Paul Heyman.
Maybe it's a hot take, but I don't think Danhausen should be paired with any other comedic wrestler for a comedic tag team. We don't need that. We need Danhausen doing what he's doing, and let all the other comedic guys do their own thing. See, that's what we need, like something like that.
Who was it? Kathy Kelly, who used to just sneak up on him for every promo during the Bloodline thing?
Yeah, because he's super on edge all the time, so that works perfectly. Just have Danhausen just popping up on him, like, yeah. But yeah, we don't need him. Like, we don't need a Danhausen R-Truth tag team. That's not something I ever want to see.
But no, I don't know about that. That I don't know about because Damien Priest and Truth hold the tag titles right now.
I would love to see Truth right now turn into Ron Killings and not R-Truth and have a serious dominant tag team run with Damian Priest, who we know is a badass.
You know, another thing I wouldn't mind with R-Truth, which I think would be fun and interesting, would be like a Three Faces of Foley type deal. Like he's Ron Killings, he's R-Truth, and you know, something where, because that seems like that's where they were going with when he returned, and then they just dropped it and made him R-Truth again. Well, okay, whatever. Screw you, guy.
It wasn't the worst idea, but no, God, no. Um, no. And honestly, like, what kind of longevity do you think Truth has at this point? You
If
know,
they use
he's
him as tag team, I think play. I mean, but Truth's already up there in age.
well, yeah, that definitely extends his longevity a little bit, but like, they already were ready to fire him once, apparently. You know, if you believe that that was shoot.
You and me are both divided on that.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Randy Orton. So that's the play because there's one major thing I do want to talk about from SmackDown, but I think that's going to take a little bit of time. Randy Orton and Matt Cardona have a confrontation backstage. Then he's on the phone. He's like, "I'll do the right thing." He brings Cardona out at the end of the show and just completely destroys him.
Welcome back, Matt Cardona.
Right back where you started.
No, 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 no. All right, do
Which
it.
now brings me to why I actually do want to talk about, because I don't want to talk about the women's tag team championship match because the Bellas were in it, and that's just going where exactly we thought it would, a multi-team match probably at WrestleMania. But SmackDown kicked off this week with Drew McIntyre ripping off Jacob Fatu's car's windshield and pulling him out of it, and them just brawling, which is pretty much what they did the entire episode.
I gotta,
Like,
I gotta say, I love it when a feud reaches this point and then it's just brawling throughout the episodes. Like, and they just ignore it. Okay, well, we'll get back to that later.
and it gets to a point in the beginning show where McIntyre comes out complaining and everything that Fatu took away his WrestleMania moment. Well, you took away his chance at his, so more than once. You know, you have all this come out. He's like, you know, you're the biggest victim of self-sabotage. Which how many times have I brought that up? Drew, screw Drew.
It's almost like you're writing for them.
You know, Fatu comes out, they get back into it. And then there's a segment later backstage where oh, it's the MFT after they lost the tag team titles, and Tama's like, "You're acting a lot like Roman," which is something interesting. Just real quick with that segment, after he says that, and as that segment's going, you know, and they mention something, it's almost like the lantern is changing Solo.
Interesting.
And it kind of plays into the Wyatt's mind games type thing
So
So
you're saying potentially the lantern is maybe like the source of.
of the bad luck for the MFTs, yeah, and for
Right.
Solo.
Okay. Okay.
Because they took something that didn't belong to him and that has that type of supernatural feel to it, being involved with the Wyatts.
I want to chant that,
So,
but I'm not going to.
Drew got screwed. You know what? Yes and no. But there's multiple reasons. Whatever. No, it's all but confirmed at this point, unless they shift gears after WrestleMania. But Fatu came back and went right after Drew,
I thought it was
and he's
Rikishi.
pretty much made it clear it was Drew that attacked him. And if we look at Drew's actions recently, Drew is his own worst enemy. Drew had to con his way into one last title match because he picked up the belt and got DDT'd on it. Cody didn't pick up the belt and do that in that match where if Cody got disqualified, he lost the belt. Drew had to get involved in the Royal Rumble and screw Cody and screw Drew. We get to the Elimination Chamber. What does Drew do? He screws Cody. He screws Jacob. And now, because of the fact that Drew took advantage, which, let me make clear, as where we stand, I do think Drew McIntyre should be WWE champion still. He put Cody Rhodes through a table in that championship match. Drew McIntyre should have been disqualified. Cody wins by disqualification, but doesn't get the championship. As I was saying that, it gets brought up in the chat.
Honestly, I was always under the understanding like the ring steps are fair game, so why wouldn't the announce table be?
No, but it wasn't the announce table. They pulled a
Oh,
Slim Jim table out from under the ring. If
I'm
it's the
sorry.
announce table, it is fair game. But if you set up a table,
I was under
that's
the
not
impression it
already.
was the announce table. Okay, you're absolutely right.
No,
Furniture that's already there when the match starts is fair game.
yes. So
But
going,
you can't set up a table and use it, right?
yeah. So no, and so again, as I say, Drew McIntyre should still be champion. But as it stands, in the end, Drew's his own worst enemy. He continually got involved in stuff when he said that Cody, if he does it the right way, can get that title shot. 2 times Cody was in a position to possibly get it the right way. Drew interfered and inserted himself into the situation.
Didn't he even got to choose like the 3 stages of hell, right?
Yeah, in which he won the championship, yes.
Right. Like he's been given every opportunity. He's had so much handed to him when he shouldn't have.
And it was Jacob Fatu getting involved in that. So let's bring this full circle. We now fast forward to Cody's been granted one more title shot, even though he shouldn't have. All right, Cody gets the title shot. Guess what Jacob did? He righted his wrong when he interfered in the cage match in the 3 stages of hell. Because it was because Jacob interfered in that match that Drew was able to leave the cage and win the match and get the championship. Jacob righted his wrong. Cody got the belt back, and now we have a heel, Randy Orton, who is going to punt kick Cody's head off at Allegiant Stadium at WrestleMania.
Yeah. It's about time. Like Cody should have never won the belt back. Drew should still be champion, absolutely. But in this situation, like, no, we need this to happen.
And now there is another circumstance to think about, and that's the fact that if Bronson Reed or Braun Breaker don't get injured, I think we could be realistically looking at a fatal 4-way for the WWE title. But because now they could have had to split that match up, because now we need another match. And at this point, for me, I'm okay with it, even though I will stand on that Jacob Fatu should be in the WWE title match because he got screwed by Drew just as bad as Cody did.
Right. Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. Yeah, if those injuries don't happen, we probably do get a fatal four-way between these guys, but having to make more matches on the card, uh, with the injuries and shuffling everything around, yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah, because I'm going to be honest. If it wasn't for injuries, I do have another name to throw out there for the open challenge, which I think for Brock Lesnar, if it wasn't over, and that would have been Bronson Reed versus Brock Lesnar.
Nah.
Well, no, because now we're kind of putting Paul Heyman on the spot too. Is Paul Heyman ringside for that match? Because the Vision and Brock Lesnar have been working together kind of recently. Paul Heyman brought out Brock Lesnar this week to take out Seth after what Seth did to him.
Right.
If Bronson Reed hadn't been injured, then that curb stomp also probably doesn't happen, to be honest. And we go another route, which is why with all this now, especially after this week, I'm more at 85%, 15%, and 15% being Braun Breaker returns early. And we still get Seth versus Braun Breaker. Okay, we have two people who don't have a match on the WrestleMania card right now. Seth Rollins versus Gunther.
Sounds like a great match.
It's another route to go. Personally, I've seen rumblings online from fans just being like Rey Mysterio's playing the injured card so that his son can retire him and not Gunther because they want him to do the retirement match.
Look,
Which I stand on. It should be Dominic that retires Rey. It should not be Gunther.
Mm,
No, Dominic. And I'm looking at this in terms of the family legacy. It's the lucha thing. And even at that point, you do the ultimate thing to retire Rey Mysterio. Dom beats him and unmasks him.
I mean, I'm fine with either one, but I would
I don't think
prefer.
it shouldn't be Gunther. Gunther doesn't deserve that honor after the story of since 2005 involving Dominic, starting all the way back at the Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio custody ladder match.
If you want to count that, sure, but it's all about what's happening now. Like, most fans don't remember that. Most fans remember that Gunther retired AJ Styles and Goldberg and who else?
John
Um,
Cena.
John Cena. Uh,
Rey Mysterio shouldn't be. I'm just saying, I get the angle. I get the idea of what they're doing. Rey Mysterio should not be one of those victims. It should be his son that retires
I
him.
definitely think Dom should run out and turn face during the match, but I still think that Gunther should win.
No,
Like, Dom
I
comes
think
out,
that
tries to save him, opens him up for a intercontinental. No, he lost that belt. Um, opens him up for a Dom Gunther feud, which elevates Dom.
uh but then here's the problem. I think that whatever you do with Dom, even as a face, I don't think it's necessarily time yet. That face turn, I think if it
By
comes,
then it would be.
even then, if it does happen, I'm even cool with a face versus face retirement match. But I think Dom should be the one to retire Ray. It's the right way to go because it passes on and it plays in that Rey Mysterio is considered the greatest luchador of all time. Dom calls himself the greatest lucha of all time now. If he retires his father, what does that make him? The
You
greatest
gotta,
luchador of all time in name.
you
And it
gotta
fits.
remember, wrestling fans have short memories. You
And
know what I
this
mean?
is all.
We
And this,
remember the long-term
yeah, but
story.
this is also why you have video packages. You remind the fans of this history. you could start going on over. Oh, Rey Mysterio is going to be retiring soon. So you know what we're going to get a ton of? Vignettes chronicling all this of the last 20 plus years.
All I'm saying, like I said, I'm fine with either one, but I'd rather see Gunther because it
Good.
plays into his story. It just adds to his storyline.
Here,
Eh,
here's my
go on.
pro. Here's my problem with that. If we were talking about this 10, 12 years ago, all right, I could believe Rey Mysterio wins that match
I could believe Rey
somehow,
Mysterio
some
would
way.
retire 10 or 12 years ago.
No, 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 no. He was still able to go then on a weekly pace. 10, 12 years ago, I believe Rey Mysterio could avoid retirement in that match
10, 12
somehow,
years ago, he was in
some
Lucha
way.
Underground.
Now, Rey Mysterio at this point in his career, I do not believe for a single moment that he can beat Gunther.
No, if he
And that
takes one
takes
big
the
bump, he's going to crumble into dust at this
and
point.
that takes the steam out of it for me. To where I look at him and Dom, I'm like, even if you only chronicle them being tag team champions, Dom joining the Vision, and you bring up other aspects of the past in their
Oh my God.
promos,
I just got a random thought, and it's completely unrelated to what we're talking about, but Ray and Dom versus Controlled Chaos.
I'm for it. And if
Go on.
Dom were to still be AAA champion, you do career versus AAA championship.
Yeah. Or a mask versus
Yeah,
hair
so that they're
or
both put.
something.
Yeah, something like something. So there's something on the line for both of them.
Yeah. Like, I mean, mask versus hair would be weak. Do we know that he's coming
The,
yet? You know,
Chris
like,
Jericho is still under contract with AEW.
right. Even though they dropped hints all week, they used a lot of his lines. They used the "you just made the list" line. They used uh
Yeah, they did. He is still under contract. They just want people. They're using things they have the rights to because it was under their watch of that version of Chris
no, they even
Jericho.
said the learning tree.
I mean, anybody can really say that.
Yeah,
I mean, a
true.
lot of his lines,
What
anybody can really say. It's in the reference of how they're made.
what I'm getting at is like we don't know. He could show up next week, and then we're all fools. But what we've been told is AEW is freezing his contract and adding time to it for the time that he took off, which is a completely legitimate thing that both WWE and AEW have been doing. So we have no idea when he will be available to be signed, and we're not going to. So I think it's kind of a thing like it's going to be a while, and the speculation's going to fade a little bit, and then he's going to just pop up out of nowhere, and his gut's going to be even bigger. But we're all going to pop anyway.
Yeah. And if they do Gunther versus Jericho, I'm just going to say they were to do Gunther versus Jericho right away. What's everybody going to assume? Oh, Jericho just came back to be retired by Gunther,
Exactly.
and
Which
that's the
maybe
problem if
that's the
he's
plan. Maybe that's
oh
the plan.
if that's the plan, cool
I
if
don't think
that's the
that's the
plan.
plan.
No,
There's much
so
more
I
money to
don't.
be made from Jericho.
Yeah, so I would do that like a year down the line. And now, if we're talking next year's WrestleMania, and if we're talking about Jericho's final WrestleMania,
And Seth and Braun Eddie, yeah, that's happening, but when both
it's a
are
matter
fully
of
healthy.
when. Yeah, I'm
Also, yeah, Seth
15.
doesn't have a match, but he's not cleared
Yeah,
for
yeah, they're
Mania.
hoping. Yeah, they're hoping he's cleared for WrestleMania. We should know in the next couple weeks. But them building what they're doing right now, there has to be a plan for him somewheres along the
Yeah,
way.
if he's cleared, they're going to shoehorn him into the Oba, Femi, and Brock Lesnar match for some. Watch, watch. That's why I'm kind of
That
hoping he's not healthy.
I'm against that being a triple threat. That should stay a one-on-one match. Of
It's
all matches,
WWE
that should
here.
stay one-on-one. That's it.
Hey, this match sounds great, but it would be even better if we stuck another guy in it. I mean, Seth, he'll be involved. Will he be cleared? We don't know. We don't know. And honestly, I don't want to see them do it, but I wouldn't put it past them.
Neither would I.
Unless
Oh.
it's a Let me try that again. Unless it's a situation where it's like, oh, you thought this was a triple threat ladder match for the tag team titles? No, this is a four-way, and then we get a return or something. That's the only way. And even then, I'm like,
I would if Seth is cleared, I would not be against some type of mystery opponent, like something like he comes out and like we know he doesn't have a match, or with Gunther. You know what? I don't have a match. I want a match. I'm coming out right now, and I challenge anybody who's not on the card tonight.
oh, I got it. Gunther sitting drinking beer in the crowd. That's as far as I got.
And it's not a Stone Cold IPA, so it's Gunther versus Stone Cold.
I was thinking more along the lines of the Cena Taker uh, WrestleMania pop-up match.
Oh, yeah. That was actually, I actually remember being entertained by that not just because John Cena got squashed, but just the fact that for like a month straight, Cena's out there challenging him and there's just no word from The Undertaker
Drinking
at
fans'
all.
beers. That was the part that I'm outraged about. But no, I agree. That was amazing. And everybody knew it was going to happen. It just was until the last possible second when everyone gave up hope before we heard gong. And
Yeah,
yeah, it was. I'm happy with the way that went down. Honestly,
it
they
was
did it right.
fun.
Yeah, especially for like two guys who didn't really want to work. I feel like.
Um, yeah, like it's just hard to sit there and imagine after the way Gunther's been in position the last couple of years that there is no match for him, and we really don't know.
What's Billy Gunn's status?
Hold on. What if they did something like it is some type of legend who's on his way out and just shows up? But who could it? Like the question is, who's healthy? Can we just put Flair in there with him and just?
R.I.P. No. Charlotte, yeah. If you're talking about Charlotte, sure. We don't want to see. Oh my God, Squatch. Come on.
Hiding right?
Former Road
Nitsky.
Warrior. I mean, I know he's still out there. I don't know if he's wrestling, but he shows up at the conventions. Yeah, good call, Archives. Um, wow.
I
Name
have a
someone.
name, but he doesn't. He won't work with. Oh, look, he's
Sa-
mentioned again.
All right, Sasquatch, you're working your way towards a 2 week ban from this channel's chat. We don't talk about the RY guy.
No, but you could talk about Skip Sheffield.
Only if you make no other reference. And the phrase "feed me more" is banned.
Oh man,
I didn't know that. DG made that rule without telling me, and I
I didn't
actually
know
I got
thing
put
of the
in catering
sorts.
a couple. I got put in
Don't put that
catering a
hell
couple
on me,
times
BJ.
before I realized that that was the new rule. So, what the hell were we talking about?
Stuff and things.
Eddie just catching up. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
that should be a one-on-one match. I agree 100%. But I wouldn't put it past
He's in
WWE.
AEW.
Well,
It's the big slow.
I mean, Mark Henry, he's in no
Retired.
shape. Yeah, well, I know, but never say never.
And he doesn't like
Hey,
being chopped.
hey, hey, he didn't retire. That was all a ploy so he could beat up Cena.
Wrong year, man. But the salmon
Mandela.
suit lives on in infamy because of that.
Oh my God, one of my favorite all-time segments. He had me. I actually got a little emotional watching it. I was like, "Oh wow, okay." And then I was like, I popped. It
I
was,
did the world's strongest slam. You're like, oh, he got us all. Because that whole
yeah.
show worked around. Oh, it was so great. Um, yeah, it's just hard to really look at the roster and pick out any one person.
Yeah.
Unless there's somebody whose contract is possibly expiring that they want to feed to Gunther.
Or even maybe a recent TNA or AEW release who's like done. But they could just like do a one-off with. BRB, LOL.
Oh, that's really. I think there's something going on with some of the general managers. I think there's 50-50 shot that somewheres down the line we get Nick Aldis versus Drew McIntyre. Moose, I'm okay. That's an option. But in the end, I don't see Moose winning at WrestleMania. Because now we're going to ask AEW to put over a TNA star on their biggest show of the year. They couldn't even put Sting over Triple H when it made sense. But yeah, we still do have something else to talk about. As we've had some really good conversation this week, we now have to talk about AEW Revolution from last Sunday,
Yes.
which was an excellent show. Oh man,
I
excellent
fell
show.
asleep, but I was there for most of it.
Joe Henry showed up last year. We did that one already, and I'm not feeding Joe Hendry to Gunther, especially if he's still the NXT champion at that point. One thing was feeding him the Randy Orton in a comedy type segment, WrestleMania moment, when the scheduled match couldn't happen due to injury and we weren't going to get what we were promised. So doing that 180 completely made sense. And it made history that the TNA championship appeared at WrestleMania. The TNA champion was at WrestleMania, and Joe Hendry's going to have plenty of WrestleMania moments in his future. How much BJ will hate every single moment of it, it's going to happen.
I mean, I'm just waiting to see any kind of personality from the guy, honestly.
You wouldn't know personality if it kicked you in the nuts. Wow, Eddie is really catching up.
Eddie, no offense, but that's a no based on that one day at the 2300 where he got sued.
For me and Chef, that's a yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's
I
outvoted.
won't be involved. I won't be involved, but no, we can do that. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'll forgive.
JCW's not showing up at WrestleMania neither. Bro. Can't mention Vince Russo without saying bro. It's against the code, bro. So, bro, we gotta
Oh,
talk
and
about AEW,
and
bro.
also you can't mention JCW without saying whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop. Moving on, though. Which I think JCW's doing a taping or some type of live show tonight, I do believe. I know there's a couple people I know that are actually going to that show. Yeah, so we had a Wayne Brady appearance
Yeah, skip that
during
on
the
the
pre-show for Revolution. But yeah, Revolution, good show. The World Tag Team match, FTR and the Young Bucks, was a really good match. Is our agent trying to age it during the show?
Save that for post show.
You know, also, Eddie, you guys here in the chat have really geared the show today with conversation. I know you weren't here for a lot of it, but there's been a lot of really good chat involvement today, and we love you guys for it. Keep up the awesome work. Just not you,
as
Eddie.
usual.
You keep up your average work. You know, you keep doing your thing. We still love you.
He still
Yeah,
gets his 10%.
I thought we renegotiated it down to like a 0.5%. Oh, wait, we just did it. We didn't tell him. Sorry, Eddie, that you had to find out like this.
You might have an email. Go ahead and check your email.
But you're going to have to remember an email from like 20 years ago because that's the only one we had.
It'll be a Yahoo account.
We had to go on Ask Jeeves to find it. All right, now this says I just dated myself with how old I am in internet years. FTR Young Bucks AEW Tag Team Championship. Great match.
Yeah. Everything you would expect from these two teams. A little bit of high flying, a little bit of just brutal strikes all over the place.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I was really happy with that match. And then after that match, boy, oh boy, we get the return of Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. Which, if you watch Dynamite this week, you know at the next, what is it? Yeah, I didn't catch what the next show is, but their next big pay-per-view, Dynasty.
Dynasty, yeah, that's it.
FTR versus Cope and Christian 2 for the World Tag Team Championship.
Oh man, this is going to be such a good match. This is pretty much like, I don't know, this was like this is a fantasy match that I never knew that I always wanted to see until just now.
Why were you worried? But yeah, no, they put on a great show. Also in the pre-show, which ran into the beginning of the actual pay-per-view, congratulations to Jack Perry on winning a 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal and eliminating Ricochet at the end to win the national championship from Ricochet.
Yeah, Ricochet, his name going forward is going to be redacted, apparently.
Yeah.
I feel like he might get the Chris Benoit treatment on this one.
There are some things that when we're getting ready to go up there, I do want to bring up. 10-match card. I'm used to it with AEW. I just wish some of the matches they would give shorter times to, so they're not dragged. Too many of the matches feel dragged out.
We see 10-match cards like a couple times a month, and they're 2.5-hour shows.
Yeah, or they're a 3-hour show, and boom, boom, and with an intermission. Let's just include there is a time period where another match could be going, and since it's an indie show, there's an intermission.
Yeah.
So then, Tony Storm, Marina Shafir. It was a good match. It wasn't great. It was good. And it loses a rating even more because Ronda Rousey shows up, which nobody asked for. Nobody gives a damn.
No, but you know what? She needs to promote her MMA fight. I get it. But also, the big story coming out of this one, and it wasn't even really directly coming out of this one, but we learned Wednesday, I believe, that Tony's going to be out for a very long time.
Yeah, and then they made a T-shirt from an angle they ran this week on Dynamite that was in, again, where we were talking about earlier, the poor taste category of things. Just like the Britt Baker Black Eye shirt that they made, this has gotten the same backlash from it.
Yeah.
And the idea becomes, where the hell would I ever wear this shirt? Like, that's not a shirt no man can wear. Like, who in the merchandising department pitched this to Tony Khan and actually got it approved? That's what I want to know.
I mean, he was just like, okay, we print 100, maybe we sell them all. Great. That's profit.
They don't even do that. All their shirts come off Pro Wrestling Tees, so they're printed as they're made.
Well, yeah, true.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that was a
it
little
was
absurd.
it was a surprise to see Ronda more than one way, but it wasn't one that I ever asked for. And that
Yeah, no.
and it's another thing to where the normal wrestling fans and then the IWC were all in agreement. Like, none of us asked for this. Why are we getting this? And can she just leave already?
As a wrestling fan, and I've never been too big on MMA or anything like that, um, I feel disrespected by her comments toward professional wrestling. I don't think she has any business being back in the ring, and honestly, I think she's a liability if she does step in the ring any further. I get it, she's trying to promote her upcoming MMA fight where she's going to just get destroyed and then disappear from the spotlight. But please do not involve her in any more wrestling. She obviously hates the business and she's using it to promote her own thing and make more money. It's just a bad look.
Yeah, I'm not with it at all, to be perfectly honest. Hopefully, it was just some stupid appearance thing, and then she just is gone again.
Here's a comparison, right? I am fine with Logan Paul being in the wrestling business right now, but I don't want Ronda Rousey anywhere
But
near it.
but here's the thing: we might not be fans of Logan Paul in the general purpose, but damn, is he
He has
good at
shown
what he?
respect. He's shown respect for the business. He's a hard worker, and he has earned
And you can
everything
see
that
he's actually dedicated,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
he can talk. He's a
Rhonda
natural
didn't care.
talker.
No, it
No,
doesn't even
not
have
only
to do
could
with
she
that.
not,
Rhonda was above it. She didn't care.
because my thing was, especially with Ronda, was when she was in WWE, she should have been booked like Brock Lesnar. She should have been unbeatable.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
yeah, and I get it, cool. We do the nice person first and then turn her on the crowd. I was okay with all that because she was unbeatable there. And then all of a sudden, after WrestleMania and that triple threat where she screwed up and kicked out, and you'll never see that clip not clipped again where you don't see the shoulder come up. Like, it's ridiculous. Hey guys, I just want to say you guys have been doing a great job. I actually finally am going to get my spinal fusion surgery on Tuesday. Look forward to talking to you guys soon. Well, we wish you the best and all that, brother.
Doug, I hope everything goes well for you. I'm sick of seeing you walk around all crippled. Um, Hey, if you wake up and you're in recovery, go ahead and check out BJ and DG Talk Wrestling's Indie Spotlight. We'll be reviewing PWU's Bat Country, and it's going to be a great show. But yeah, dude, definitely Eddie, get well soon, man. Looking forward to seeing you again. Hope everything comes out all right.
Yeah, and then the AEW Continental Championship match with Takeshita and Moxley, contender for match of the week for me.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Squatch.
Yeah, like I might not like the guy, like with Logan Paul, real quick. I might not like the guy, but he 100% gets what he's doing, and I've never heard a bad thing about him backstage when it comes down to stuff, and he is down for whatever. That man bought a wrestling ring so he can train and actually learn. Like,
You don't have to like him, but when you love to hate him, that's a really good thing.
and that's
For
the other thing. So many people naturally hate him. It makes him that much more of a natural heel to get
yeah,
beat.
yeah.
And it's beautiful. But yeah,
He's
back to this
never he's never gonna be a face, and I'm fine with that.
But yeah,
but
back to
he's
this
doing great. Good.
back to this Continental Championship match from Revolution. Contender for match of the night.
Oh yeah.
Like, I liked the first match they had. Boy.
Right.
And I had to go to the store during that match, so I'm watching it on
Oh.
my phone.
Oh, that's right. That's when you left me alone. Oh no, that wasn't that. No, okay.
No, you and Chef were watching it on here, and I was in here on my phone.
Was that? Yeah, okay. That was when I fell through the chair on my balcony. I got
But
stuck
yeah,
in it for a while.
that was an after that, Women's World Tag Team Championships, the Babe of Wrath lost to the team that is the Divine Dominion, made up of Megan Bain and Lana Cross, who, in the pre-show, almost beat Willow Nightingale for the TBS Championship.
These Amazonians. Oh my God. Like Willow and Harley, is it? The
Yeah,
Babes of Wrath. Yeah. I loved their run, but oh my God. This team. Like, who's going to stop them? Who is going to take these belts off them?
seriously.
These Amazonians. I think I've seen
No,
clips
I
of
heard
that
about it, but I have not seen it yet.
here.
But yeah, the tag team match was good. It was exactly what I thought was going to happen because Willow was in the pre-show as well.
Right, yeah.
Um,
Gives you a sense.
yeah, my surprise of the night was Swerve Strickland defeating Brody King clean.
Yeah. Did not see it ending that way. It didn't feel right. Like, not that I thought Brody would win or anything, but I did not see a clean victory from Swerve.
Boy, if you thought that match was a little too hardcore, I can't wait to hear your thoughts when we get to talking about the main event.
Yeah, I fell asleep for that. Thank God I would have had nightmares.
But yeah, that was a big surprise. But boy, did those two go out there and put on a show. Then we had the 2 out of 3 falls women's world championship match. And not any specific orders. I'm pretty sure this list I'm looking at is not in the order I remember it necessarily being in, but it could have been. Tekla retains 2 out of 3 falls. I was liking Chris Statlander's title reign, but I'm interested to see what they do with Tekla going on now, coming out of this feud.
Yeah. And honestly, like, she earned it. Like, those, like, the whole build up, everything was just so brutal leading up to this match and then the match itself.
Yeah. The AEW Trios Championship match. Mystico and Jet Speed win the championship, so Jet Speed gets the titles back. Just
Mystico, formerly known as Sinclara, if I'm not mistaken.
yes, I do believe that's correct. Yeah,
Who's the perfect partner for these guys? I mean, two young, high-flying guys. It definitely makes sense, you know. And they work really well together as a team.
yeah. Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey. I mean, Mike Bailey doing anything is just absolutely awesome. He's great at what
Oh,
he does.
Speedball's amazing, yeah.
And then Andrade versus Bandita was pretty good too.
Uh, contender for match of the night, definitely.
Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong versus the Dogs, David Finlay, Clark Connors, and Gabe Kidd. I
Even
love
though
seeing. Go ahead.
go on. Even though this was an 11-minute match, this is where I fell asleep. I think it was right after the opening bell rang.
Yeah, that was a fun match, but the match I really want to talk about, because I don't want how much I want to spend time talking about this entire card. There's only one match that should have the spotlight on this card in reality, and that's the last chance Texas death match with MJF and Hangman Adam Page. And wow. How do I go about this? I absolutely So this was a long match. And I was into
Like
every
45
moment of.
minutes.
Yeah, I was into every moment of this match. Um they really the one thing, and I said it in passing earlier, WWE,
Oh, you
there
froze.
there is story there, but they only have story to the thing. Did I freeze up?
It worked out.
Am I good?
Yeah.
I'm good now.
Yeah.
So, AEW focuses more on the pro wrestling with story where it's needed. And the
Yeah.
story of the whole Hangman Adam Page and MJF story over the last couple years, of when they've had their matches and stuff, and their Revolution match last year. That it brought all this full circle. And there were some very brutal moments in this match. One of them being MJF being dragged through broken glass. Yeah, I was getting, and
Sorry.
that was a moment. That was definitely a moment, and not
And
just that.
honestly, I'm all for a hardcore match, but as a wrestling fan and as a guy who's seen some pretty gruesome stuff over my years, that's where I cross the line. I don't want that in my wrestling matches.
No, I'm. I'll be clear. I'm not a fan of those spots. I think they're too
No,
dangerous.
no.
I I think that any company that really does it, you're being bold doing it, especially a company like AEW. But to the
Yeah.
fact that at least it wasn't on TV, it was on pay-per-view. It doesn't make it better, but at least you had and when it comes to AEW and death matches, they put on some of the best ones when it comes to like the Texas death match style and stuff like that. They
I
really
wouldn't
do. And
say exploding barbed wire death matches are their forte, but what was it, exploding ring match? Whatever.
Eddie Kingston
Um,
went out to go save John Moxley from streamers.
Moxley, yes.
The
But no,
match
yeah, you're
itself, no,
right.
the match itself was good. But it was the exploding part that completely botched the entire thing. Um, the match
Yeah,
was absolutely amazing. I absolutely loved, and a lot of people criticize is that MJF came out in Terry Funk attire, which I absolutely love, and because a lot of
yeah.
people forget Terry Funk was a heel. He, especially for the majority of his death matches.
A
Like,
Texan, a deathmatch expert, and an absolute heel. MJF made the right choice with that getup.
especially for the match that they did end up having.
Yeah.
And kudos to those guys for going out and doing what they did. I might not agree with a couple of the spots or whatever, but you know what? It honors what death matches are, and that you could see a lot of the old school style elements from those 70s and 80s death matches that Terry Funk did.
Oh,
They
yeah.
did their homework. You could see that. It made me. It was what it was. No, and I agree with that. It did not. The syringe spot did not ruin the match in any way, shape, or form for me. I always just think it's a choice. That's the best way for me to put it. It
Yeah,
is
yeah.
a choice. Whether
The
I
decision
agree
was
with,
made.
but when
We're
it
going
comes to
with it.
their feud, but when it comes to their feud specifically, and
It
a lot of the
fits.
bad blood between them, the same
Yeah.
thing with Swerve. Like, I'm not saying the moment called for it, but if you were going to pull that trigger, That's where you pull the triggers in emotional moments like that, where you are going that far because this has to end.
Agreed. Yeah. Like it was the right time for it. I just think it was a little excessive.
It's in poor taste, like a Who Killed Tony Storm shirt. All right, that's where, or any spot being filmed, any segment that is filmed in a funeral home with a funeral going on the other side of the wall.
What are you referencing? I don't.
Oh, you know what the hell I'm referencing. Yeah, I absolutely loved the end of the match as well, especially the celebration with MJF standing on the stretcher. Absolutely loved it. And then MJF going to Disney World. Absolutely love that too.
I saw some pics of that. He looked miserable.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. I get it. I'm not supposed to like the heel. I but I've always been a fan of the heel, so and MJF hits those right buttons for me.
You know why you're a fan of the heel and why he hits the right buttons for you? Because he says and does everything you wish you could.
You mean that you wish you could, but that's a different story for another time, sir.
No, no, no. You're the married guy who like would never like act like that towards his wife.
Anyway, moving on before I incriminate myself any. It is we ran it over a little bit because we had some really, really good conversation from the chat this week. That
Yeah, how did we
really,
have just us and we went over?
and we thought we were going to end a half hour early before starting.
I like when it was at the 1 hour mark, I'm like, all right, I don't know how we're gonna stretch it out to 2 hours.
But our
I
wonderful
did.
fans in the chat, help us here. You were our third guy tonight.
Oh yeah,
You were
Squatch
our
Archives, Eddie, you guys are the best. Tara
Ryan
earlier,
Milky.
Milky earlier. Yeah, you guys are all amazing. Keep doing what
Make
you're
sure
doing. Keep
Captain
support.
Heel.
Thank you so much, Captain Heel. Um,
Just scrolling through East Coast LQ reviews.
oh yeah. Tanner, thank you.
You
Um,
know, I'm just scrolling through to make sure we didn't miss anybody.
Archives. Oh, stop it. If it wasn't for you guys, we would have given up a long time ago. All
But
right.
we do have one more thing to talk about. And I really can't wait till I have a new thing made for this. Our match of the week. Boy, you know
I'm
why? How you know that's outdated? Because at one point we included indie stuff into that.
right,
And
right. And
now
now
we have
it's
two different
a whole
shows.
different world. It's a whole universe separation. Um,
Yeah, it
Let me
really
pull up
is.
my reference.
While you're going through that, in all honesty, my match of the week is the AEW World Championship Last Chance Texas Death Match with MJF and Adam Page.
Well, I didn't see that one,
I
but I know it was just too much for me.
I they did such a great job with that match. I just real quick, I don't know if I mentioned it. I absolutely loved Will Ospreay's return last week, which was really funny because I had just been talking about how they showed the vignette for him the week prior. And I'm like, hey, to remind you guys who Will Ospreay is, he'll be returning soon. And then, bam, he returns. Like, of course. Oh, whoops.
Um,
I know, I agree. I wouldn't have done the syringe spot neither, but that's just me. Yeah, of course. Of course, Archives. Of course. But yeah, everybody, don't forget, if you're a fan of indie wrestling, to check us out this Tuesday, 6 p.m. We do have a special, we do have a guest lined up, which pay attention to socials. You'll find out about that sometime
okay,
between tonight and tomorrow.
so it's a toss up between Mina Shirakawa and Marina Shafir and Darby Allin and Gabe Kidd from both from Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, but I am not in a position to make that decision right
Decision.
now. Right. So we're just gonna leave it at that.
So he called a no contest on his match of the week.
It was a good match.
It was a good match. So would you say it's your match of the week?
Hi.
But anyway, everybody, we had great show today. A lot of fun. Chat, you guys were on fire today.
Thank
and
you
again,
guys.
we
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Any interaction, like, you don't understand when I say in my videos on my other channel, like, hit the like button. It makes me smile. It helps the algorithm and it makes me smile. Like, you don't understand, man. You guys, like, any positive reinforcement that, like, what we're doing is good, keep it coming.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else I might have missed or anything else. Oh, yes. I did say there was one other thing I wanted to talk about. So we talked about Ricochet dropping the title, and then
We're
he
not going
had
to talk about.
no. He had a rant online. That's about as far as
We
I'll
are going
go
to talk
about that.
about that.
That's
Okay.
enough. But there's a side thing here to it. So his rant led to
I'm with you. I'm
backlash.
with you.
All right. And when it comes down to this is more geared toward other fans.
The
There is
IWC.
there are lines crossing between when you're being a fan, and yes, we do make joke of being marks and stuff like that because it is a wrestling thing, you know. And
But
in the end,
there's
I
a
always say,
difference. There's a difference between being a mark and taking it too far.
and in this case, and this goes along with stuff like the stalking stuff with like Liv Morgan and I think Sonya Deville.
Sonya Deville, right?
You know, and there's been other cases in the past, but
Of course.
the line of crossing from fan into something else completely different when you're messaging a wrestler's wife, talking about unaliving them. That's the way I'll put it.
And
And
we're not saying that suggesting the same thing happens to the actual wrestler is okay.
no,
But
no, 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 no,
when
no.
you take it to someone who is involved by association and may not even have known about what happened, it's gone too far, guys.
And also, given whatever it is, uh, you know, that post was taken down because it was in poor taste. The situation was handled, but
Without the request of Tony Khan.
yes, but in the end, whether you're messaging the talent, their families, or whatever, you never take it to that level with threats and stuff like that. Gentlemen, ladies, remember, this is entertainment. You know, would you do the same thing if you went to the movies and your favorite movie character died in the movie? Are you messaging their real life loved one and sending them threats? Or because they said something in a movie in character?
Right. No one out here like, oh, Blake Lively, your husband shouldn't have done this.
Yeah,
Like, it's
archives
ridiculous.
in the chat. And you know, it's something to where you as a fan have now crossed the line.
And
You go
taking
ahead.
it away from her, because she deserves none of this. He might deserve a fraction of it, but when it gets to threats, that's what no one deserves. You can troll someone all you like, you can do whatever. That's
Now,
crossing a line.
now, you've seen screenshots of stuff. You've even seen it firsthand. SPO when Channing Decker was their champion. You
Right.
know, we were there when he had his opportunity and essentially cashed in on Too Cold Scorpio after he won the
Right.
title. Because I popped out my chair for that.
Yeah. Oh,
And
absolutely.
I literally was talking trash to him as a fan.
Yeah.
Playful, you know. And then we had a thing going back and forth online that if you go back and find those posts, you can see the comments firsthand. And I'm not threatening the man or anything like that. Or examples when we've had people on interviewing. You know, there is a line that I will not cross. And
I
that
don't.
is when it comes to direct threats of of talent, family members, or anybody involved with it. In the end, it is crossing the line. And in all honesty, anybody who is sending those type of messages, I hope criminal charges are pressed against them.
Oh, I
That
hope
is
they're
some
prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Absolutely.
because it is part of the reason why wrestling gets the rap it does.
Exactly.
Because
People just don't know how to separate art from reality, and I use those terms very specifically because
it
what is affecting them is the art that they're reacting to. You know what I mean?
like and especially somebody like Samantha Irvin, who's been in the business. She was a WWE ring announcer for a while, which she's one of my favorite to ever do it. I will. She wanted to do other stuff. They couldn't agree on it. And so she went on to
And,
go do other things and other projects. Good for her. She
and
stood her
she
ground.
has,
I will always.
and she's never done anything to deserve any kind of hate, to my knowledge.
No, just fans want to be nasty because they're not getting their way, because in their head they're now again, we're not saying the fans aren't important. The fans who take it too far are not important. In the end, they do not represent, I would even say they don't even represent the mass of the IWC. Because I'll see the IWC say some screwed up stuff, but they're not doing that. There
I
is a
like
difference
to,
between playful trolling, like I said, I've done with Channing Decker. Ryan Namath is one that I have an on and off thing
right, yeah,
online with, and it's always in fun. And I've never met the man, but it is in fun
yeah,
because I'm helping his algorithm, and he stays in character for this stuff. But
yeah,
in
and
the end,
it's like an exchange where like you could be talking all the trash you want, but you guys are all just helping each other out. You know what I mean? The heels, they know they're heels, they know what they're doing, but they expect the intelligent fans to boo but not be personally offended, and you know what I mean?
I, yeah, we're not talking about something like in the '80s, Hacksaw and Iron Sheik, right? Or something along these lines, Sergeant Slaughter and well, you get where I'm going though, to where
Cobra.
fans would be chanting this stuff. Uh, Just you know what? There is still a difference even now, and we're in a different day and
2005.
age.
2005 with the guy who well, with the London bombings and they had to pull him off air. Mustafa. No.
No, 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 no.
Muhammad
Hassan, Muhammad
Assad.
Hassan.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
But that's where real world dictated something that couldn't happen. Not in the case that this thing happened, and then something else happened, and everybody not only went after him, but went after the loved one as well. You know, like wrestling fans, you can do better.
yeah, we've been on this too long. It's just like honestly, like
And in all honesty, do better. It is unacceptable at this point to be like that, and especially considering the majority of you doing this are grown ass adults.
yeah, do better. Don't kick me off stream.
Well, speaking of kicking people off stream, welcome back to DJ Talks Wrestling. DG Talk. I can't even get my own name right, so I gotta bring them back now.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Be intelligent. You're not. a kid separate things, understand what's happening. Uh, maybe, and like the comment, like I'm not saying it was like, oh yeah, like put it this way. If you see someone saying that online, they're trolling. They're trying to get a rise out of you.
Yeah,
There's no need for anything that followed to have, oh, what's going on with archives?
I just had that up, but then you were talking, so I put it back down
Oh,
just
so
waiting for you to finish.
because when you removed me, I just see black until you bring me back up. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, all right.
she's back in the
Congratulations,
WWE
BB.
system. Yes.
I was gonna say, didn't that already happen? But yeah, no, no, no.
Yeah,
Okay, back
she
in
used
it.
to be in NXT.
Yeah, I knew that, but I'm saying I thought she was also a part of ID. Like, I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but yeah,
In
awesome.
the, yeah,
Congratulations, Mimi.
yeah. Yeah, it's just something that I just wanted to back end with because it's not something like this that we address too often on the show. We try to keep things positive, but in the end, this is something to where people like that do not represent the mass of wrestling fans. Rick effing Blade.
Well, I appreciate it. At the same time, it makes you very hard to reach, and I'm sure that's by design. But
But
hey, if
as
you want to come
always,
on sometime, let us know.
yeah, you could come on the Sunday show. You could come on the Tuesday show. Hell, I'll randomly go live anytime if you send me a message and tell me you want to come on. I'll
It's
just go
like that.
live and let you yep, you have that right, sir. You are a legend.
We could ask you about that four-way with Low Key and yeah, never mind. You probably don't have much to say about that match.
But yeah, I'm glad that Rick, you were able to catch the show as well. Again, everybody who was in chat today, you guys were on fire. You really contributed to the show, so please keep that up. And also, do not forget Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, here on YouTube. Subscribe, like, follow, all those beautiful things. Show us the support we need and that we want for you guys. Rick, best of luck on Thursday, my brother.
Man,
I
Eddie
will be
Ray and Rick going under the knife this week?
I will be sending good gingery vibes to all you guys.
You don't want them.
Oh no, you want the good gingery vibes.
Rick, best of
It's
luck to you, man. Get well soon.
what you don't want is Sam Reaper showing up before you go under. And
I
there's
don't
our
think you have to
Sam
worry
Reaper.
about that.
And there's our Sam Reaper mention for the day.
It was all you.
Yep, it was all me. You're welcome, Sam.
He's
But
out of
on
my
that,
head, even though I just put his sticker on my fridge.
but everybody, now as always, end on a good note. Everybody, be good to each other. Especially with the world the way it is now, right? I feel like I say it every time, but it's just more progressively getting shitty. You never know what somebody else is going through. Be kind, be nice, and
No
try to
death
do
threat.
a good deed.
Stop with the death threats, jerks.
Yeah. But until next time, that's BJ Talks Wrestling. You can also follow him at BJ Drinks Beer. I am Danger Ginger. You can follow me at the Danger Ginger or the Danger Ginger 1 on all social medias. But until next time, like I said, you guys be good to each other. And we'll see you Tuesday for Indie Spotlight and more BJ and DG Talk Wrestling. Oh, went the wrong way.
Everybody watching, I'm gonna need you to visit www.freakkings.com. Check out all the merch. And before you do that, I'm gonna need you to check out PJDG YouTube and Instagram. And while you're doing that, you won't have to remember the name, cause you'll remember the face.